For helpful advice, pick up these special leaflets from post offices and other outlets, or telephone Freeline Winter Warmth. Remember, a few minutes of your time can make all the difference to an elderly person.
Now the perfect way to end the day. It's soccer all the way in Sports Week tonight. There's the Budweiser Cup final and action from across the channel. The programme is introduced by Jackie Fullerton.
In only their second season in the Irish League, Omagh Town will certainly remember the 5th of November 1991. That was the night they beat Glentoran 3-2 to qualify for their first senior final. Player-manager Roy McCready got one of the goals, and as they approach the biggest game in their history, he's feeling very relaxed.
There's no pressure on Omagh Town whatsoever. I mean, it's 2 or 3 years since Linfield won a trophy. Eric Bowyer hasn't won a trophy as a Linfield manager as it stands up to now, and hopefully he won't have won one by the end of the evening.
In a thrilling semi-final, Linfield beat Cliftonville 7-6 in a penalty shootout, with goalkeeper Alan Patterson the Blues' hero as he saved 4 spot kicks. Now Alan's looking forward to his first final, with Linfield going in as favourites. Or are they?
Well, I've only played against Omagh once this year and we beat them 2-1, and it was a tough enough game. They play some good football, so I wouldn't write Omagh off tonight.
Hello and welcome to the Oval for this Budweiser Cup final. Omagh Town trying to make history here tonight by winning their first senior trophy against Linfield, a much bigger club with a much bigger tradition. The Blues trying to win their first trophy after a lapse of some 2 years. Also tonight we've got Rumbelows Cup soccer. Coming up later, extended highlights of Manchester United against Oldham.
Here's Webb. Mark Hughes. Kanchelskis on a huge run down the right. Now then, the sprint is on. Giggs joining him, but Kanchelskis tries the shot.
So that Rumbelows Cup tie, Manchester United against Oldham Athletic, coming up in about 45 minutes or so. But we start here at the Oval, the Budweiser Cup final. Let's take a look first at the two teams. And there's good news for Linfield and their followers. Their main strikers, Martin McGahey and Stephen Baxter, had both been doubtful because of injury. But both will play, and that's the same 11 which won at Coleraine on Saturday. And the Blues, top of the league, of course, are now unbeaten in their last 16 games. Omagh Town, they show 2 changes from the side, beaten 2-0 at Ards on Saturday. Player-manager Roy McCready and striker Marty Woodhead return. Seamus Bonner, he moves onto the subs bench, and striker Mark Donnelly is missing because of suspension. So the Budweiser final, the 5th Budweiser final, is underway. Omagh Town wearing the white shirts, playing from left to right in this first half. And both sides, of course, very hungry for success, and a bit of psychology from Roy McCready of Omagh. He says there's more pressure on Linfield. And Jim Cleary is beside me. I think he might be right, Jim.
Well, I think, Jackie, as we know, Linfield have all the experience. They've been in so many finals over the years, and as some of their players have said today, they're expected to win trophies. And this is the first chance they've had to win one for a while, and obviously there is a bit of pressure on them.
Yes, a bit of pressure, but the bookmakers, they're making Linfield the big favourites tonight, 4-7, and you can get 9-2 on Omagh, which is a fairly generous price, I would have thought.
Well, I think you would have to go along with the bookmakers. I mean, as I've mentioned, you know, the experience Linfield have in finals, and if you look through their team, although some of the younger lads have not played in finals, you have the likes of Alan Dornan, Lee Doherty, David Jeffrey, Martin McGahey and Stephen Baxter. You know, you have 5 players there who have loads of experience, and obviously that'll tell tonight, I would think.
Yes, I think not too many of the Omagh Town team have played in cup finals before. I think McGuinness has been there, Roy McCready. And that's the big worry, of course, for Omagh, that some of the younger players may freeze a bit. The referee tonight, there he is, Andy Ritchie of Carrickfergus. And a fairly good crowd here at the start of this game. The Linfield fans here in force, of course, hoping to see their team get amongst the trophies. Omagh Town, they don't get big gates, but I'm told 8 or 9 busloads are up tonight, not only from Omagh but from Enniskillen and Castlederg, hoping to see an historic cup win. This is Jason Allen. Back to 19-year-old Alan Patterson. I have to say I've been very impressed by this young man this season. And very much the hero of that semi-final, of course, in the penalty shootout against Cliftonville. Cole getting it back to McBrearty. And whilst Alan Patterson is 19, that man is 20 years older, 39 years of age now, Joe McBrearty. And here he is in his first cup final. Well won by Jeffrey. McGuinness. Curry. Omagh streaming out, trying to play the offside. The flag stays down. Bailey, they're in the middle. There's McGahey. 1-0. Brilliant finish. And Martin McGahey's 15th goal of the season. And we've just played 3 minutes of this game. Good ball in, and a superb finish from McGahey. The favourites, Jim, have scored early.
And at the early part of the move, Jackie, great credit, I think, to Lindsay Curry. He got the ball on the right wing, held it up, seen a couple of players were offside, and give a great ball out to Noel Bailey. A great cross from him, and a real striker's finish from Martin McGahey.
So the worst possible start. And a bit of frustration there, obviously, from Roy McCready. He's been given the free kick. Referee having a word with Gary McCormick. And with Roy McCready, just telling them to cool things down in these early stages. But obviously McCready slightly hot and bothered after going a goal down. Marty Woodhead, and wins the corner kick. So a chance for Omagh to move forward. And that looks like Eamon Kavanagh, who's got a very sweet left foot, coming across to take it. Oh, is it in? It is! And what a start we've got of this cup final. Absolutely amazing. And it's the fullback, Declan McColgan, the near post, and Patterson was beaten. And we've just played 5 minutes, it's 1 each. Jim Cleary.
A whirlwind 5 minutes if ever there was one, but a perfect replay by Omagh Town. And I mean, it was looking as though, you know, we were just thinking with so many young players on the pitch for Omagh, their first final, and the jitters setting in very early on. The one thing they needed to do was get back into the game right away, which they've now done.
They've certainly done that, and here come Linfield again. Curry, good ball, McGahey! Baxter, still with it, good effort, and over the top by McBrearty. An amazing start to this cup final. McGahey it was first, knocked the header back. Nice skill here from the big fella, the overhead, and over the top. Linfield, of course, at the top of the Irish League table. I was saying unbeaten in 16 games, the last 16 games. Omagh, they're in 7th place in the league table, 11 points behind the Blues. And the Blues move forward now with Bailey. McGahey trying to get turned. Curry weaving a bit of magic. as he's very capable of. Doherty. Good ball in. Here comes McBrearty, and he holds it. Trilly wins it and was pushed by Magaki. Free kick to Omatan. McGuinness gives it to McCall. It's Bailey under it. Kavanagh confronted by Dornan. Good ball player, Kavanagh. But no real power in the shots, and straight through to Patterson. Easton finds Magaki. Bailey. That's a good run from Easton. Finds Bailey again. Curry has switched wings. Still with it, Curry. Tried to curl it. He did score a goal like that against Carrick at Windsor Park earlier this season, but just didn't get the curl on that occasion. But a very talented player, Jim.
Yeah, he started off very well tonight. That's the first time we've seen him popping up on the left wing. So far he's been mostly on the right, but every time he gets the ball he's creating problems and a wee bit of havoc in the Oma defence. And as you said, a very, very skillful player.
And as you can see by that chunky frame, known to some at the park as Maradona. McCall bundled over by Martin Magaki. McCready. Nice ball into space. Here's Dunyan. Kavanagh. Dornan in there, snapping at his heels. The court crowded out. Doherty finds Curry. Could be something on here for the Blues. Curry, oh, that's a nice ball into the path of Doherty. Baxter going in there. Just couldn't get any power, and Oma bring it away. Trilly, and again showing their composure on the ball. That's good play. McCready. Kavanagh. Dunyan is forward on the left. Kavanagh still going. Oh, he runs into that challenge from Jeffrey. Oh, and Jeffrey and McCready. A battle of the big man there. And McCready going down, Alan Dornan going in there. And a bit of a free-for-all. And it's all getting a bit silly. And referee Andy Ritchie will have to stamp on this. The referee calling Gary McCormick over. And there's still a bit of pushing and shoving going on here. And now the referee has got Jeffrey. But he's still talking to Gary McCormick. Jeffrey there as well, Dornan. So he's booked McCormick. And a yellow card for David Jeffrey. So 2 Linfield men booked. Here's the incident. Jeffrey picks it up. He's fouled. The referee has given the foul. Jeffrey starts to fall and ends up falling in to McCready, and that's where it all started. But always very difficult, Jim Cleary, for a referee in that sort of situation.
It is, but I'd like to have seen it again, actually, because after that initial we've seen there were a couple of players, as far as I was concerned, lifted their fists to other players or lifted their hands on way, you know.
Yes,
the rules state that if you lift your hand to strike an opponent, it's a sent-off offence. I was at a match here on Saturday, and the same thing happened, and the two players weren't even booked, you know. And I think really referees, I don't want to say, but they may be checking out of their responsibilities. You know?
Yeah, I think it's a thing which frustrates the players as well, that sometimes there is inconsistencies. Anyhow, back with the action, and it could be fast and furious from here on in. McGahey, that will be too long, and it is. In fact, there we see it. We'll see what happens here. There's the initial confrontation. There's the push from McCormick. And as you say, hands were raised, and the referee has got to make a decision. And more hands there, as you can see. And then it all gets out of control.
It all gets out of control, and at that stage, you know, you have a bit of sympathy with the referee as well. I mean, if he's going to book one, he's got to book 5 or 6 there, you know.
That was won by Easton. McCready. Forward by McColgan. McColgan to get another chance. Oh, that's almost a nice header from Marty Woodhead, but flying wide of that post. 27 minutes gone, and once again Omagh getting the chance to go close. The ball played in there, as you can see, by McColgan, the flicked header, but in the end well off the target. Noel Bailey, just 20 years of age, a very versatile young man, plays fullback, midfield or left wing. Trilly, just McCourt forward, and immediately shackled by Jeffrey, but for the moment he's escaped. Still with it, holding it up well. Good tracking back though by Bailey. McGahey. Oh, nice ball. Curry going forward at pace. That's a good challenge though by McGuinness. A few of the Linfield fans on their feet looking for a penalty, but a good tackle. McCready gives it to Dunyan. And certainly Omagh not looking. The referee very close to the incident. No way was it inside, as one of the Omagh Town players might have been suggesting there. So we've got number 11, Eamon Kavanagh. I think he might be favoured here with the left foot from this side of the pitch. McCready there, McColgan leaving it. Maybe joining the wall. Just 4 blue shirts. Here's Kavanagh. But Patterson had to grab it at the second attempt. So plenty for the big crowd here tonight to enthuse about. There's the ball, crept round the wall, and Patterson did well. So Lindsay Curry there with Noel Bailey. Curry with it, the back post. Dornan careering through. But that was McCall, Dermot McCall, who did well with the challenge, stopping the juggernaut of Dornan.
Omagh haven't looked particularly comfortable, you know, dealing with Stephen Baxter in the air. Every time he seems to have been going for a ball, there's been 2 of them jumping on him. He's causing some problems, but if Linfield can pick him out at free kicks and corners like this one. Oh,
just wide of that post by McGahey. The keeper caught in no man's land, it has to be said. From Bailey's corner kick, there he is, there's McGahey. Just inches away. Long ball from Jeffrey, but it will be much too long. Curry going in on McBrearty. Referee waves play on. And once again, McGuinness keeping things calm, cool, and the pace of the game slowing it down.
And the pace of the game has dropped, obviously, from the first few minutes, Jackie. But you know, neither team has been really dominant as such, so it's been pretty evenly balanced. I would like to say about Linfield, I'd like to see Linfield getting down the flanks a bit more often, because they have the two big lads in the middle, McGahey and Baxter, and I think they'd cause problems if the crosses were coming in. There's Noel Bailey just getting the ball there now. He hasn't really got down the flanks since the first few minutes when he hit the great cross from Martin McGahey's goal. And I'm glad to see actually Lindsay Curry moving over to the right-hand side to give Noel a chance to get attacking the full-back.
Yeah, I think it would be a good ploy, because in Bailey and Curry, they've got two very good wide men to feed those big strikers. But I'm sure Eric Bowyer may have something to say about that at half-time. There's the Linfield bench in the background. Lindsay McComb with the moustache, the assistant on this side of him. Eric Bowyer, the Linfield manager. Second year on the job and still looking for his first trophy, of course. Town thought they'd got a corner kick. In fact, a bit of pushing, and it's a free kick to Linfield. But Kavanagh, a young man who can pose a few problems, Jim.
Yeah, he's a good player. I didn't see, obviously, the match at Windsor Park a few weeks ago, but it seems he played very well against Linfield. On that occasion, Linfield beat them 2-1. But a couple of times I've seen him last year. Very, very skillful, hard to mark.
Easton finds McGahey, another man who's hard to mark. Docherty, Curry. Good build-up. Curry likes to hold it, of course. Midfield losing out in the end. They get it back, though. Dornan. Docherty. Docherty pushed out of it by Kavanagh. And a few tempers and short fuses this evening, Jim.
I think Roy should be a wee bit careful here. I know he always likes to get into the middle of things, you know, but at this stage you need to cool it down a little bit.
The player manager should lead by example. Yeah. Easier said than done, of course.
Easier said than done. I know a few that haven't over the years.
Curry. Call with the header. Kavanagh, but straight away Dornan is there. Docherty, Curry, surrounded by white shirts, has to settle for the throw-in. Gary McCormick to take the throw, a young man who arrived, 25 years of age, who arrived from Ballyclare Comrades in the close season. Good long throw, and McGuinness has to get it away. Corner kick to Linfield. David Jeffrey going into that goal mouth, taking up a position at the near post. Noel Bailey to take it. Jeffrey didn't get there. And off. I thought that came off an Ulma man.
It looked to me as though it came off a defender.
The goal kick has been given. Well, here's the corner. Jeffrey did move towards it. In fact, it was off Marty Woodhead. So it was a corner, but in fact the goal kick given. Very pleasant still evening here at the Oval. No breeze at all. And very pleasant conditions for a soccer cup final. And it's a very interesting game. And nicely balanced at 1-1. Good challenge from Paul, and wins the throw-in. Jim, we're into the last minute, and I have to say I would go along with your earlier summing up that it's been fairly even.
Yes, Jackie, it has. I didn't want to say anything there in case it ended up 2-1, but yeah, I mean, there hasn't been much between the two sides. Linfield have probably come the closest to scoring a second goal. Martin McGahey's header just past the post, and Stephen Baxter's overhead kick that was saved by the keeper. Apart from that, you know, Omagh have had a shot saved by Alan Patterson, but pretty even overall, I would say.
And a second 45, a good second 45 minutes in prospect, I would think. We're now playing time added on for injury in this first half. Won by Easton. Creedy shielded it well. Omagh get it forward again. Jeffrey very strong in the air. Long ball forward from Allen. Good control from Baxter. Well done by the big fella. Good tracking back there by Crilly. And the goal kick given. And all credit to Crilly there, the midfielder. Saw the danger and was back to cover it. So referee Andy Ritchie brings the first half to an end. As we were saying, an interesting first half. Martin McGahey there, who put Linfield 1 up in 3 minutes, and Declan McColgan 2 minutes later made it 1-1. So a good 45 minutes still to come in this Budweiser Cup final. The half-time score, Linfield 1, Omagh 1. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Murray, we're history, Murray. She's using Domestos multi-surface cleaner.
So what if she is?
So what? This Domestos multi-surface cleaner has superb cleaning power.
Now, I've heard that before.
Yeah, but this is different. Unlike some other cleaners that leave her kitchen germ-free. Like I said, we're history.
Germ-free? She won't use it down here on the floor.
Domestos multi-surface cleaner leaves your home not just clean, but hygienically clean.
Us germs aren't safe anywhere now.
Who made this into this? She did. And who trained this person to become this person? He did. Whether you're
training
or employing,
talk to the job training program.
We did.
Have you heard about the fabulous Coal Advisory Service winter heating packages? Right now, you could update your coal heating with one of the latest range of high-efficiency, low-maintenance real fires from as little as £429. For your free coal fact pack, contact your local Coal Advisory Service showroom.
I'm gonna make you great again. The people want you back.
Beechwood aged Budweiser. The best reason in the world to drink beer.
Well, you can stop it, you can bop it, and you know you'll never top it at the Buzz.
The countdown to Christmas continues at the Buzz. Now there's late night shopping every Tuesday and Thursday to 9 p.m. So if you're looking for the biggest stores, the widest selection of Christmas shopping, and the brightest ideas, get into the Buzz.
Let's eat at the Buzz. That's Belfast. Let's shop at the Buzz. That's Belfast. Belfast is the Buzz. That's Belfast. Let's go to the Buzz. Let's go!
On January 1st, the tyre law changes. So, with remolds from only $9.95 and new steel radials from only $14.95, get down to Quick Fit now.
So there we are, 1-1, as we enter the second half of this Budweiser Cup final at the Oval. And taking a quick look round, no changes on either side. Dornan finds Curry. Dockery gives it away though. McCready, nice ball inside. Kavanagh turns onto the left foot as always. Was looking for the run from Dunyan. Forward by Dornan. Former Town skipper Ray McGuinness. Joe McBrearty, who missed the semi-final because Glenn Livingstone was over from Aston Villa. But McBrearty, the man playing in the final this evening. Eric Bowyer there in the middle of your picture, the Linfield manager. A penny for his thoughts at the moment. Wes Baxter doing running repairs. Roy McCready exchanging words again with the referee. Ray McGuinness, I think, the man in trouble for kicking the ball away. Ray McGuinness, who's travelled a bit in his career, he's played in places like South Africa, Sweden, Leicester City, Derry City. In his first season at Oma, and he's doing a good job in the heart of that defence. A defence which at the moment is having to absorb more Linfield pressure. Chip forward, on by McGaffey. Pushing and a penalty kick. And really, Jim, a penalty out of nothing.
It was indeed a penalty out of nothing. I'd like to see it again here on the slow motion.
And I'm not surprised there are a few appeals from Oma Town.
Well, I think a lot of people on the ground have been a wee bit surprised by this decision.
The chip forward from Curry, there it is. Well, make up your own mind.
Well, if that's what the penalty was for, I'm not exactly sure whether it was, but...
Stephen Baxter it is, his 12th goal of the season, he's missed it. And the Oma Town players and supporters may feel that justice has been done there. They were aggrieved at the decision. Baxter will not be too pleased about that penalty.
Well, if the penalty was for the challenge that we've seen on the slow motion, you know, I think you'd agree, Jackie, that we see challenges like that in every match in the box. And we don't always see penalties given for them.
Yes, I'd go along with that. So, still 1-1, 7 minutes into the second half. Linfield have missed a penalty. Well, I did say I thought there would be a few more goals. Stephen Baxter must have thought he would be the first to get one. But disappointment for him and the Linfield supporters. So with 2 goals in the opening 5 minutes of the first half, the second half, 7 minutes into that, we've had a missed penalty. It's an interesting old game, isn't it, Jim?
It is, but I think Linfield are starting to pick it up a wee bit in the middle of the park. I think in the first half, neither of the two sides really dominated in that area. And I think now Lee Doherty's starting to come into the game a wee bit more. And that's what they really need to pick the game up a bit.
Yes, I think Eric Bowyer may have said to push forward and get tighter, because Oma were really dictating the pace of the game, and that's why they were able to keep it slow-paced. McGahey, but the flag is up. Jeffrey is in there in an offside position. And Alan Snoddy very quick to spot it. And a red card. And again, out of nothing, Gary McCormick, he had been booked in the first half, committed another, what the referee considered to be a bookable offence, and his cup final is over. He can't believe it, and I think, Jim, you might be something the same.
I don't really know what to say about that, Jackie. Obviously, you had Ray McGuinness booked a couple of minutes ago for throwing the ball back to his keeper, and the referee has looked upon this as something similar, and he said to himself, well, I've booked one guy, I can't very well let this one go. And with him having been booked already, he had no option but to send him off. He's made the decision, and that's it.
Well, what we saw there was a clumsy challenge, nothing more.
Well, I think what he was actually booking him for was kicking the ball away once he had stopped the play. If you see it a further wee bit, you'll see him kicking the ball over the halfway line, and I think the referee then went for the card. If you could see the slow motion again, I think that's what he's actually been booked for.
Well, here's the slow-mo.
If you see here, I think he just kicks the
kick
ball
has
away.
been given.
Yeah,
but he only toe pokes it away a few yards.
He toe pokes it away, but I think the referee has looked upon it. I've done the same just a couple of minutes ago for a guy throwing the ball back to his keeper, and he's put his hand in his pocket, maybe not realising the guy's already been booked. Find out no option, I've got to send him off. You know, it's a bit cruel on the lad right enough, I think.
It certainly is. His cup final is over. Linfield down to 10 men, but on the attack, McGahey onside! Oma seemed to stop there, waiting for the flag. There wasn't one, but McGahey off the crossbar. And McCreary had all sorts of problems with the pass back. Here we are, Curry with it. Dinks it through. Oma appeared to stop. There's McGahey, and off that bar. So we've had a missed penalty, a man sent off, Linfield have hit the bar, all inside 11 minutes of the second half. Crilly, that's Dornan, good strong header. Dornan once again first to it. Here's Doherty. Oh, sold Baxter short with that one. Dornan in once again. Paul can't keep it in. Throw in given to Linfield. Dornan. Long ball and a good ball. Finds Curry. Curry running the fullback, still going. McGahey's in the middle. Oh, and he should have put that one away. Scored the Linfield goal this evening with a superb finish, but he'll be kicking himself here. Great play again from Curry. Looks up, delivers the cross. Looks like 2-1, but it's not.
We did say somewhat earlier in the game that we'd like to see Linfield getting down the flanks a wee bit more, and Lindsay Curry's just shown us what we were talking about, you know. And unfortunately for Martin, you'd have put your week's wages on him putting that in the back of the net.
Yes, Martin McGahey, who's just topped the 300 goal mark for Linfield in some 450 games, which is an amazing ratio, isn't it?
You know, he's been a wonderful servant to Linfield, there's no doubt about it. He's been a great player to watch over the years in the Irish League, apart from when he was playing against us and scoring goals.
So the second half has started apace. Linfield having a man sent off. They've missed a penalty, and then we've had two glaring misses in a couple of minutes. But Linfield at the moment, despite being down to 10 men, very much in the driving seat. And as we've said before, Jim, in cup finals, sometimes it works that way when you've got 10 men.
It does, not just in cup finals, you know, in ordinary games. I think, you know, when you're down to 10 men, you fight that wee bit harder. And when you have 11 players on the pitch, it takes a certain style of play to play against 10.
Roy McCready in another tangle there. He's had a few words this evening throughout the game with Andy Ritchie. He's having more. So another yellow card.
Yep. Well, I think Roy's going to have to be a wee bit careful. I mean, as you've said, he had a few words tonight already with Andy on a couple of occasions. He's now been booked, so he doesn't need to overstep the mark again, or it'll be looking like a red card for him as well.
McGuinness finds Crilly. Good ball, Woodhead. Crilly continues the run. Crilly going in there, well read though by Patterson, and he had to be sharpish off his line. Good goalkeeping. And once again, McCready and Andy Ritchie exchanging words. I'm not sure what that was about. So Kavanagh with it. Oh, it's 2-1! And there's the delight on the terraces. Harry McCourt, the top goal scorer.
You see, as
he was in the 6-yard line. Sorry, Jim, there he is, the little flick. And it's 2-1.
I was just going to say, Jackie, that a result really of poor marking there, not the fact that they're down to 10 men. I think he was left standing on the line on his own, a mix-up between two defenders by the looks of things. One thought he was taking it, the others thought the same.
And Linfield will certainly not be happy with both Omagh goals from similar situations.
That's correct, yeah, practically scored from on the goal line, Declan McColgan's and Harry McCourt's.
So it was all Linfield. They missed a few chances. Omagh got one, and they've buried it. And they're in front. But here's Curry. If anybody can retrieve it for Linfield, this fella can. Lovely. Oh, almost through to McGahey. But superb skill again from Curry, who's raced all this way to take the throw in. Leaves it for Dornan. Curry receives. Dunyan, put out by Curry. Baxter, Curry tried the shot. Declan McColgan to bring it out for Omagh. Bailey. Glenn Hunter has 22 minutes or so to make an impact. At the moment, Curry is doing that. McGuinness in the way. Another corner to Linfield. Once again, David Jeffrey going up to the near post. McBrearty out. Docherty, the snapshot, but again, much too high. But it was well worth the risk for Docherty. McBrearty got the punch. Docherty had the space, was quite right to have a go, but he couldn't find the target. McCready, just look at the space he has now in the midfield. Kavanagh. Lovely little chip. Dunyan. He's got McCready behind him, he just couldn't find him. McColgan. Dunyan. McColgan. Crilly. Kavanagh. Corner kick. Eamon Kavanagh with the kick. Lee Docherty. Good challenge, plenty of determination there from Docherty. Gaki looks for Hunter. Linesman Alan Solly says it come off Hunter. We're inside the last quarter of an hour now. And this is Declan McColgan for Omagh. McCready gives it to McColgan. Keep ball at the moment. Good chance this might be back to the keeper.
Well, it's the way we all say you should play when you've got an extra man, is to play possession football, and they've been doing it so far and pretty well at that.
And they're doing it quite well at this moment. Here's Dunyan, rides the tackle. McCourt, Woodhead, still Woodhead. Oh, wonderful goal! Patterson left with no chance, and what a finish by Woodhead. Unbelievable, 13 minutes left. It's unlucky for Linfield. Woodhead held it up, changed feet, and wallop, top corner.
A tremendous goal. Reminiscent to think of, for those of you who remember, 1982 World Cup semi-final, Falcao's goal against Italy. Or semi-final it was. Tremendous goal, and now Linfield really backs against the walls. You know, they'll need some spark at the moment to lift them.
Yes, indeed. 77 minutes gone. It's 3-1. Marty Woodhead's 7th goal of the season. And I think he and the Omagh Town fans will remember that one. Long run from Kavanagh. Here's McCourt. Still going. Well blocked by Jeffrey in the end. Dornan trying to bring it forward. That's Kavanagh getting back to cover. Bailey picks it up. Gives it wide to John Easton. Hunter. He's given it away. And McCourt, who shoes it very well. But well shadowed that time by Bailey, who wins the free kick, takes it quickly. Hunter, Docherty in there. But Omagh get it out again. And looking round the terraces at the moment, the big Linfield contingent have been silenced.
Well, I think with 10 or 11 minutes left now, Jackie, I think it's a case of they'll probably just throw caution to the wind and push as many people forward as possible. I think it looks as though they're just going to keep David Jeffrey and Jason Allen at the back, pushing the fullbacks forward.
But here again, Omagh Town finding plenty of space. They have the extra man, of course. Here's Crilly. Woodhead, the flag is up though, offside. I'm just thinking that the Budweiser Cup, it's not Linfield's favourite tournament. It's their third Budweiser final. They lost the previous two. Some will well remember, beaten 6-1 by Glenavon in 1989 and then losing 4-2 to Glentoran in 1990. And at the moment, they're losing this one by 3-1. Linfield have it. Curry. Crilly once again back there doing a good covering job. Picked up by his midfield partner, McCready. Nice bit of skill from the player manager. McCourt gets the touch on. Dunyan. Kavanagh. Leads it up to Dornan. Past him again. But Dornan, biting at his heels, gets it back. And the challenge going in there from Kavanagh. Dornan didn't like it. And I think the referee will be writing again.
You can see Allen has the ball here, running right across the park. Young Kavanagh comes in with, well, it's a late challenge, right enough. It must be at least a booking, I would have thought. We're not so sure at the moment what's going to happen when this referee gets the call.
Yeah, I'd have to say that was a booking, and Dornan, well, he wasn't pleased. So Kavanagh booked. Linfield try to get forward with Doherty. Obstruction from Dunyan. Free kick given. Doherty and all the Linfield players apart from John Easton forwards. And that was won by McColgan. Forced to give away the corner. Less than 3 minutes left. Taken quickly. Bailey. Beattie. Good save. McBrearty showing a very safe pair of hands on that occasion. And he had to. There's the corner. Taken by Curry. Bailey. Good cross. Good header from Beattie. But well held by the keeper. So Jim, just 2 minutes left. The Ulster Television man of the match. You've been deliberating.
Yeah, I think I'm going to give it to Harry McCourt, the Omagh Town number 9, Jackie. I think he's had a very good 90 minutes. First half he led the line really well. He scored the second vital goal, the one that put him into the lead. And overall, you know, he's looked a player with a great deal of skill. And he's given David Jeffries as hard a game as I've seen David having in a long time. So man of the match for me, Harry McCourt.
Yes, and I wouldn't argue with that. Been very impressed by him. So Harry McCourt will get the very nice Cavan Crystal football. Well worth winning, and another little memento of what will be a memorable evening for him and Omagh Town, it would seem at this stage. We are now in the last minute of this Budweiser Cup final. 3-1 Omagh. And the trophy would appear to be on its way to County Tyrone. Dunyan. Trilly, another man who's played well this evening. And Jim, such is this game of football. Linfield unbeaten their last 16. They must have come here tonight, their tails up, thinking their trophy famine could be ended. And here they are, losing a cup final.
Well, they were everybody's favourite going into the game. And as we've said before, it was pretty even. And I think really the game seemed to turn on the sending off. It affected Linfield obviously more than it affected Omo Town. They got the second vital goal, and then the third one, the killer punch, really. And, you know, unfortunately, as I say, it had to turn on something like a sending off. But
Linfield still trying to push forward, but it must be all in vain now, as we are now in time added on. The 90 minutes have elapsed. And before the sending off that you were talking about, Jim, of course, Stephen Baxter missed that penalty for Linfield, and that could have been another big turning point.
Well, this is it. I mean, they did have chances. Stephen had the penalty. Martin McGathy had two good chances. He had the header, which he put over the bar. He had the other one, which he hit the crossbar with.
It's all over. Andy Ritchie brings it to an end. History tonight for Omo Town, their second season in Irish League, and they've won their first senior trophy, and a first trophy for player-manager Roy McCready. Bitter disappointment, as we were saying, for Linfield and their manager Eric Bowyer, who's still looking to win his first trophy. David Jeffrey there, a nice touch over congratulating Roy McCready. What a night it's been for him and his team. Final scoreline in this Budweiser Cup final: Linfield 1, Omo Town 3.
I remember the good old days.
Of the way we were. Can it be that it was all?
Because you're so lovely when you're angry.
Give us a kiss then.
Oh, dear, I flew. And if we had the chance to do it,
it's an insult.
Tell me,
would we? Could we?
Are you happy?
Yes, I'm very happy.
That old black magic has me in its spell. That old black magic that you weave so well. Those icy fingers up and down my spine. That same old witchcraft when your eyes meet mine. That same old tingle that I feel inside. And then that elevator starts its rise. Down, down, down I go. Round, round, round I go. That old black magic called love.
The Black & Decker Cordless Super Power Driver is a screwdriver for grown-ups. It's got all the power you'll ever need. It unscrews at the flick of a switch. There's a reversible bit to match different screws and adjustable torque for complete control. You can screw screw after screw after screw after screw. Change your idea of what a screwdriver should be. Think what you can do with a Black & Decker.
Crisp, Beechwood-aged Budweiser. The best reason in the world to drink beer.
This album is steaming. Hardcore 92. 20 massive techno dance hits that couldn't be hotter. With the jams, 2 Unlimited, Rosala, Anti-Capella and SL2. The ultimate hardcore experience with Alternate, Control and the latest smash from Seal. Get steaming Hardcore 92 out now.
The one thing I always make sure of is that the kids are fed.
As for yourself, you make do. What I hate the most is that you never ever get to clear all the bills. There's always something hanging over you. If it wasn't for the St. Vincent de Paul, we couldn't survive. And they don't make you feel it.
We do what we can, only because you send what you can. For God's sake, give a little. It helps a lot.
Welcome back to the Oval then, where Omagh Town have won this Budweiser Cup final, beating Linfield by 3-1. And beside me now, a very delighted Omagh Town player-manager, Roy McCready. Roy, what about that?
Oh, it's brilliant, Jackie. I mean, the boys done themselves proud tonight. It was a great achievement for everybody involved with Omagh Town Football Club that we got to the final. We're doing reasonably well in the league, and it was a bonus for us to get to the final. And all I wanted the lads to do before the match tonight was acquit themselves quite well, and we've gone a stage further and won the cup.
Looking back to the start of the second half, there were so many turning points. The missed penalty, Linfield having the men sent off. They were in the driving seat at that time, weren't they?
They were in the driving seat. They took the initiative. They got a good early goal, and fair play to our lads. We bounced straight back and got a splendid equaliser. As you say, they missed a penalty. They missed 2 or 3 great chances. And then they got egg on their faces, and you miss that amount of chances, you're going to be punished eventually. And I mean, as I say, fair play to our lads. Every one of them battled hard.
Well, Jim Cleary's man of the match and winning the Cavan Crystal football, Harry McCord. Harry, quite a night for you and for Omagh Town.
Oh, we battled very hard. Plan was they played up their feet against Pike David because I'll never beat them there. So it worked tonight, just one of them things.
What's the big memory from the final for you?
I think scoring that lucky header in the second goal. That's about all.
But overall, the performance, you must have been very pleased. And to win a trophy, it really is something.
It was a good performance. They come from an early goal down, like they come back and won 3-1, you know, especially against Linfield. But we'll go now and have a wee drink.
Well done.
Thanks.
Well, as promised, we go across the channel now. The Rumbelows Cup, the 4th round tonight, the All First Division, All Lancashire clash, Manchester United against Oldham. The commentator at Old Trafford is Alistair Mann.
The referee presiding over tonight's game is Phil Don from Middlesex, who will join the FIFA list on January the 1st. Congratulations to him. The last cup meeting of these two sides, of course, were those two momentous FA Cup semi-finals more than a year and a half ago. Just 1 goal separated them in 4 hours of pulsating action. Are we to embark on another such classic tonight? Andy Bollow with an early throw. Sharp. Parker. Neil Webb out on the right. And winning a corner. In fact, the linesman's adjudged a free kick. And it's by the corner flag. Ryan Giggs will float it in. McClare's unmarked! And McClare scores the goal! It's number 12 of the season for Brian McClare. And he was virtually on his own to score it. Ryan Giggs swings it in. Where's the marking? Doesn't borrow by McClare. Well, what a start. Barely a minute old. Paul Parker. Here's Kanchelskis. First touch. In fact, first touch for a lot of players. Neil Webb. Aim towards Giggs. Nearly got there. And then he fouled Neil MacDonald. lovely time to gather your thoughts, and already we have a goal on the score sheet. Ryan Robson, Andrei Kanchelskis, Nick Henry, Barlow. Aimed towards Marshall, but Pallister was there. Well, Brian McClare might just have set another tremendous United Oldham clash well into mode. McDonald aiming for Marshall. Well, Barrett will have to try and calm his side down and get them playing football. Hughes tussling even when he fell to the ground. Here is Mark Hughes. Webb in the centre. McClare peeling away. Webb trying this shot, but always going wide. Neil Webb is a new, confident Neil Webb this season. Confident to try from distance. A dream start for Alex Ferguson. Richard Jobson to float the free kick. Graham Sharp was unmarked and had time. Maybe didn't realise. Giggs. Milligan, Barrett, Hughes in very strongly. McClare the same. Giggs chasing, but Barrett there. Richard Jobson. Barlow and Webb forcing him backwards. And that's good tussling. Barlow with no option. Earl Barrett to Jobson. McDonald, first time ball's only going to find Parker. Milligan, Henry, Parker in again, Barlow. And that's a little bit of space for McDonald. Tries a long-range effort. Playing in a right midfield role tonight, and we'll have the opportunity for one or two long-range shots, that one drifting wide. Giggs up well. Palmer to Henry. Barlow just slipped and Parker will nip in. Now Barlow's continue the run, and Milligan will find him. Great tackle from Paul Parker, and United have the ball. And here's McClare in a lot of space. McDonald chasing him, Hughes trying to peel away. And there is Mark Hughes, and to his right is Andrei Kanchelskis. And Merle Barrett makes a tremendous tackle. And he's angry that there was so much space allowed to the United forwards. Kanchelskis had a real opportunity, but Barrett came across quickly. Well, Oldham will be hoping to be a little tighter in the marking than they were a little earlier. Brian McClare was left free to head Manchester United into the lead. It's aimed towards McClare again! And I think that was perhaps even nearer. Maybe a yard or two nearer to Hallward's goal. I don't think he could believe his luck second time round. McClare, hands on hips. Oh, I'm unmarked again. Don't think he could believe it. McDonald. Fleming. In towards Shaw. The challenge from Pallister. Webb. Kanchelskis. McClare. Kanchelskis will get it. McClare's gone to his right to offer him some support. Kanchelskis, trying to thread it through. In fact, he has found McClare. Hughes! Barrett was in well again. Well, Earl Barrett's having a good shout at his colleagues, because for the second time in a matter of minutes, he's had to intercept a possible goal chance. Away from Oldham, McDonald. Shot to the left, Marshall to the right, Milligan just inside. Here's Graham Sharp. No offside flag. Marshall. Schmeichel got his body in the way, and one or two United players just wondered about the offside for a minute when this ball came over. In fact, there in the foreground was Neil Webb playing them on, and Marshall's shot covered. And as Hughes controlled, Barrett pushed. Pallister. Robson. It's a little short. And Bruce is just caught by Palmer. Robson. McClare. Great ball. Kanchelskis. Will he finish? Yes! What a superb ball from Brian McClare, who goes over to say well done to Andrei Kanchelskis. But the scorer of the first must take credit for his involvement in the second. Look at that ball. Out of this world. The control was there. And eventually, so is the finish. How he even saw Andrei Kanchelskis is a wonder to me. And once Kanchelskis got in front, United were 2 up. Marshall. Schmeichel gathers. Here's McClare. Parker. Webb. Watson. Fleming in. Here's Milligan. McDonald. Henry. In towards Marshall. Who gathers. Still has it. Palmer. McDonald. And that was a very strange decision by Neil McDonald. And in fact, it looks as though that could be Neil McDonald's last involvement in tonight's game, because I've just seen the number 2 raised on the touchline. Well, Neil McDonald saying me. After 26 minutes, it's time to introduce Rick Holden. Shake of the head, and on comes Rick Holden. And Joe Royle never afraid to take a chance. Andrei Kanchelskis notching his 3rd goal for Manchester United. Robson. Playing it forward towards Kanchelskis. Robson just signalled that he wants to come off. We can only assume he's picked up some sort of knock, but United carry on with Neil Webb, and his bending shot is beautifully saved by John Horwath. Just opened up a little for him. He tried the curler, and Horwath was alert to it. I wonder if Webb is aware that Brian Robson is asking at very least for treatment. Irwin's corner's cleared. And Brian Robson removes the captain's armband for Steve Bruce and will take no further part. Well, he signalled a minute or two earlier. I imagine an injury of some sort, and Paul Ince will come on after just half an hour. Neil Webb. Steve Bruce. Kuchelski's calling for it, and a lovely ball releases him. He's nicked it over the top of Marshall, just over the head of McClair. Fleming told to just wallop it away by Hallworth. Irwin. Webb. Palmer's attentions, giving away the free kick. A lot of men forward for Manchester United for this one. Irwin drives it. Bruce, the offside flag is up. Ooh, says Bruce, that must have been close. Palmer. Henry. Aimed at Sharp. Lovely cushion header. Rick Holden. But Paul Parker came across beautifully, but then gave the ball away. Here's Nick Henry. It's deep. It's aimed at the head of Ian Marshall. And his header's turned over the top by Peter Schmeichel. Henry's cross was a beauty, actually. Just right for Marshall. And tipped over. It's deep. And Schmeichel just gathers. Thought for a minute about one of those long throws, but we'll go instead for a long kick. Fleming. And there's the only player in the Oldham team not to have scored this season. But he's done a good job at the moment on Ryan Giggs. The skills from Ince. Just got round the back. And Rick Holden doing some defending, but he'll have to do some more. Paul Parker, and McClair's onside because Holden hadn't come back, and he's missed. Well, Holden had been doing some important defending, but was a little slow to come out, and Brian McClair was played onside by him. You might just see Holden there running out. McClair read the situation. It was almost too easy for him. Here's a man who has scored tonight and certainly been involved in everything else too. Webb. Just losing out to Henry and then showing some lovely skill. Ince, McClair. Manon shouted the Stretford end. Parker aiming for Ince. Milligan's gone with him, but Ince will get there first. Where's that ball going to drop? Great clearance from Earl Barrett. My goodness, tremendous stuff from Barrett. He really has been outstanding, and that's in a scoreline that'll read 2-0 at half-time. Well, Brian McClair ended the first half as he started the first half, and he really could have a hat-trick, but it's 2-0. And bar the efforts of Earl Barrett, could well have been more. Webb. Bruce. Milligan. Challenge from Giggs. Henry in. Sharp. Palmer. Henry. Here's Milligan, and he's fouled by Dennis Irwin. Very quickly taken. Here's Graham Sharp, and his shot goes wide. Well, Sharp trying to get Oldham off to a great start in the second half, similarly to McClare in the first half for United. It was a very quickly taken kick. Sharp just wide. McClare, Irwin, Hughes, Webb. Hughes making the run. Ince. Just opened up a little for Paul Ince here. And Horworth with a great block with his legs. Buzz of expectancy, and he's just lost out there to Roger Palmer. Trying to find Ian Marshall. Irwin in a lot of space. And the finish is not there. Just drifting wide. The Oldham fans trying to get their team going. We're inside the last 15 minutes. And Oldham need a goal. Jobson. No trouble, Schmeichel. Not a bad effort, but a little too central. He's certainly got enough power behind it. It's Schmeichel easy. Andy Barlow. Ian Marshall. Good control with the chest, that was. Rick Holden. Just forced out of it by Paul Ince. Who finishes off the job with a back pass to Peter Schmeichel. Barlow. Force under a little bit of pressure by Kunchelskis, and he's just caught the back of Kunchelskis. Well, he's already been booked, but I don't think that Phil Dunn's even considering the book at the moment. I think, to be honest, that it was a little bit accidental. In the meanwhile, Manchester United want to make the substitution and take Ryan Giggs off and give Clayton Blackmore a run out. Well, you can't star every time when the reception he's getting says what the Manchester United fans think about Ryan Giggs. A real favourite. And here's Clayton Blackmore. He's also a crowd favourite. Webb. Good positioning from Horworth. It was certainly a good struck. Well struck. Marshall and Bruce. Marshall got the touch. Palmer. Bruce tangling with Marshall. Marshall trying to just get that ball free. It's trapped under his legs. The referee hasn't quite way play on, and Temper's getting just a little frayed for a minute. Steve Bruce, interestingly enough, kept his cool, and it was he and Marshall who were the two involved in that little bit of frustration, really, more than anything else. I think a drop ball is going to be the outcome. A drop ball on the edge of the United box. Holden trying to poke it through, but he's giving it away to Mark Hughes. Henry winning it back. Holden. Still Holden. And Webb's challenge has been penalised, and it's a free kick to Oldham Athletic. It's been a really fast 100 miles an hour type game. And Phil Donner's refereed it pretty well tonight. It's not over yet though. It's just delivered too near to Schmeichel, who sends one of those long throws towards Kunchelskis. Barlow's there. And he finds Horworth. Kunchelskis. Looking to tease one or two Oldham players. Here's Webb. Paul Ince. Stevie Bruce. To Paul Ince. United just running the clock down, as they say. Fleming. Typically, Oldham will not give up. Into stoppage time now. Neil Webb. Gary Pallister. Well, it's United who progress into the quarter-finals. They've got the beating of Oldham Athletic again. Brian McClair with that goal in seconds at the start. Andrei Kanchelskis, who added the second. United can go back to the League Championship.